I'm Michael Laron, and this is the Writer's Journey podcast, where you get a window into the life of a working science fiction and fantasy author. I'm on a mission to go from nobody to bestseller, and I'm documenting every step of the way. Tune in every week as I share my progress and discover what inspires my books and how I write them. You can find the show notes for today's episode at michaellaron.com/podcast. This week, I'm giving an update on my work, and I'm answering your questions. Hello and welcome to episode 29. It's hard to believe it's the end of September already, but here we are, and I hope there's warm weather wherever you are, wherever you're listening. Here in the States, autumn has begun, and autumn is one of my favorite seasons. The leaves are changing, the air is crisp, and it's the perfect time to people watch. Anyway, I got a lot done this month. In writing news, I've begun work on a new book. It's a National Novel Writing Month book, so NaNoWriMo. I'm jumping into that. It's called Write a Novel in November, and it will be launching probably by the time the next Progress Report episode goes live. I love NaNoWriMo. It was something that I participated in the beginning of my career, and I've wanted to write a book for that crowd for a while. I get pretty granular on how to write fiction, and I break it down into easy to understand concepts. So if you've never written a book, Write a Novel in November will be perfect for you. Or if you've written a book but want to improve your craft, there will also be a lot of good content in there for you. I've also hired a video editor for my YouTube videos, which has freed up a tremendous amount of time for me. I didn't realize how much time I was spending editing my YouTube videos until I stopped doing it. Probably 5 to 6 hours a week, if not more. Now that I'm back in class for law school and I have speaking engagements now that I'm going to and doing other things that are pulling me in other directions, and I'm writing books and doing podcast episodes and YouTube scripts, something had to give. So I've outsourced my video editing and my YouTube thumbnails. I'm okay at editing, thumbnails not so much, and so I just figured it'd be better to have somebody help me with that. The first videos will go live starting in October, which is really exciting for me because I can now do 2 videos a week instead of 1, which means more content for you guys. In other writing news, I just hit publish on the 3rd and final audiobook in my last Dragonlord series, Old Wicked, narrated by Miles Miley. Miles did a fantastic job bringing my dragon hero Old Dark to life, and I'm glad to be done with the series. We're also putting together an audiobook compilation that includes books 1 through 3, so if you're on Audible, you can buy them with a single Audible credit if you want. That'll go live in a couple of weeks. I'm getting anxious to start writing fiction again, so as we move toward the end of the year, I'll slowly be focusing on a new series. Haven't decided what that will be yet, but I'm pretty sure at this point that it will be urban fantasy. In personal news, I'm appearing at the Indie Lab conference by Writer's Digest at the end of September in Cincinnati, Ohio, on behalf of the Alliance of Independent Authors. I'm going to be talking about blogging, podcasting, and online video, and how you can use it to build an audience of readers. I'm very excited to get in front of a crowd of people, and my session is going to be interactive, so I'm hoping they're going to get a ton of value out of it. Let's move on to some listener questions. Everyone's favorite robot, Oswald, is back. This month, he actually sent me more questions than usual, so I thought I would do something special for him. That's right, guys. I'm bringing Oswald onto the show this week to chat. Let's give him a call.
Listen, I've told you to stop calling me one more time and I'm calling the police.
Hey, Oswald, it's me, Michael Laron, Writer's Journey podcast, remember?
Oh, hello, Michael. Someone from Iowa has been prank calling me. If I get one more phone call, I'm going to lose a bolt.
We don't want that. Are you still available to chat? I'm actually recording right now, so the world is listening.
Fantastic. I would love to ask you those questions.
You got it. Ready when you are.
I am honored. I will be asking you a lightning round. How much time do we have? I have at least 607 questions to ask you, Michael.
I could possibly do 10, maybe 12, Oswald, but definitely not 600.
Okay, first question. Have you ever met anyone famous?
Not really. I once sat in front of John Goodman for an entire night and didn't know it. He was 2 feet away from me.
Yikes.
Yeah, I was on TV, and I didn't find out about it till I got home. I was doing a phone-a-thon to raise money for the Red Cross for Hurricane Katrina victims, and he happened to have a home down in New Orleans, I think, and he was volunteering to help as well.
Next question. How do you like your eggs?
Sunny side up, but honestly, I don't like eggs much.
What's your favorite breakfast cereal?
Raisin Bran. I don't eat cereal much because of all the sugar, but Raisin Bran reminds me of my great-grandfather. He ate it every morning.
If you could bring back any fashion trend, what would it be?
Corduroy. In high school, I wore corduroy shorts and pants. This was, I think, 2003. I was a weird kid, Oswald.
If you had to sing karaoke, what song would you sing?
Easy. I'd sing Mornin' by Al Jarreau. Rest in peace, Al.
What is your favorite decade, Michael?
The 80s, hands down. Aside from the 2010s, there's never been a better decade to live as an artist or a consumer. There was such an incredible spirit of innovation in the 80s. There were so many bands that people never heard of that were doing incredible stuff that blows my mind even to this day, Oswald. I'm sure you've probably heard some of the old records. And as a consumer, you had so many interesting choices for television, movies, etc. I definitely live in the 80s if I had a time machine.
Michael, what is your favorite sandwich and why?
Love this question, Oswald. There's a fast food franchise that only exists in St. Louis, and it's called Lion's Choice. They have the best roast beef sandwiches, period. I mean, I could eat 3 or 4 of these things in a sitting. Every time I go to St. Louis, I stop there, and when I can't stop there, I always salute them.
Michael, do you prefer sunrise or twilight?
Twilight all the way. The clouds and the sun are always more dramatic. My favorite is flying in an airplane at twilight. The light is just incredible.
What is your favorite instrument, Michael?
Saxophone. Next question.
What would your last meal be, Michael?
Pig ear, sauerkraut, and a can of cheap grocery store soda, and a slice of German chocolate cake. My great-grandmother made this for me every year for my birthday.
What's your favorite place that you've ever visited, Michael?
The cloud forests of Costa Rica. I'll never forget the fog, the birds, and the beautiful views.
Last question. What is your favorite novel that you've ever written?
Hard question, Oswald, but my favorite most recent novel is Nightmare Stalkers, book 2 in my Magic Tracker series. The novel just flowed and it came together really well.
This has been an honor, Michael. Thank you for making my dreams come true.
Always a pleasure, Oswald. I'm happy to do this anytime you want, so thanks for your questions.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining me this week. If you enjoyed the show, here are a couple ways to help a brother out. If you're listening to this on Anchor, favorite the show. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, do me a favor and write me a review and share it with your friends. You can, of course, visit my website and learn more about my work at michaellaron.com. If you have a question, send me a voice message on Anchor and you just might hear it on the show. Next week, I'll be talking about the writing life. Until then, I leave you with a quote. Smile in the mirror. Do that every morning and you'll start to see a big difference in your life. Yoko Ono.